Just trying to survive and learn to love along the way by Foreplay on AO3. Episode 103, Chapter 103 of Lost and Found. He shut his eyes, mentally preparing himself for what comes next. Izuku may be fast with his quirks, but he's not faster than a bullet. The expected impact never comes. He opens his eyes slowly, unsure of what he'll find. The sight before him would have made him drop to his knees if he hadn't been on the ground already. Mirio-senpai stands before him, clutching at his leg. Just past him, Overhaul looked pleased. Lemillion may not have been his target, but having him incapacitated will make his life a lot easier. Izuku doesn't know what to do. Even with his additional quirks, he's no match for Overhaul. Mirio-senpai is now quirkless for who knows how long. When Sun-Eater had been hit, it was a few days until he got his quirk back, and they might have improved on the formula of the drug since then. Sir Nidai and Hitoshi are still both out, and who knows where his dad is at this point. Hopefully he's dealt with Toga again, but he has no way of knowing. Oh, but he does. Through all of this, Izuku had forgotten about a very important thing, the communication device that everyone has in their ear. He hastily presses the button on the side and hopes that his voice gets through. Eraserhead, do you copy? There's nothing for a minute. Yeah, I copy. Izuku nearly sobs in relief at the sound of his dad's voice. What's your status? He's really trying not to sound too desperate here. Toga is down. I'm on my way back to you. Thank God. Once his dad returns, they'll have a real shot at beating Overhaul. Copy that. Izuku turns his attention back to the standoff before him. Overhaul's smirk is growing as he presses both his palms to the ground. Trying not to think about his fear, Izuku uses Blackwhip. He wraps the tentacle around Overhaul's wrists and wrenches, tearing them off of the ground. Too late, hero. His quirk is blown off the man, disappearing as he changes. All they can do is watch in horror as he transforms, molding himself with the ground. He keeps growing until he tears open the ceiling, letting sunlight stream into the room. Overhaul resembles something from a horror film. The only recognizable thing about his form is his face at the center of it all. They're screwed. Overhaul screams out something unintelligible and waves his arms around, tearing through the roof even further, and a long figure falls to the floor. Drago hero Brigi. She looks up, and Izuku follows her gaze. Floppy is floating there at the entrance, held by Uraraka's quirk. She turns to him and meets his eyes, conveying something. Izuku hopes that he's understanding right. He reaches behind him with Blackwhip and wraps it around Hitoshi. Izuku floats himself a little to get that much closer to Floppy. And then tries not to think about it as he launches his boyfriend at the hole in the roof. Floppy catches him, stretching her tongue out to reach him. Ever so carefully, she places him somewhere past the ledge, hopefully safe from the fighting. They repeat the same with Sir Nidai. Izuku hesitates, looking at Lemillion. There's no way he can continue fighting like this, especially not that monstrosity that Overhaul has become. So Izuku wraps his quirk around his senpai, but instead of launching him like he had the others, he floats himself up towards the hole, and nearly gets knocked out of the sky by Ruji's transformation. She punches Overhaul, trying to get him to back away a little. She manages and gives Izuku a better path to the surface. He looks back down when they reach the top and spots his dad running into the room. So Izuku gently drops Lemillion off and floats himself down a little. He just needs to be closer so that he could reach his dad with Blackwhip. Getting smacked by Overhaul's oversized fists makes him realize that wasn't the best action to take. Izuku smashes into a wall and barely holds on his float. He doesn't want to hit the ground from this high up. Ignoring the throbbing from his torso, Izuku looks around to get his bearings. He's gotten a lot closer to his dad now, making grabbing him easier. He ignores his worried look as he grabs him and floats back up. He pays more attention this time, successfully avoiding Overhaul. Ruji blocking his hits helps too. Soon they're on the surface, backing away from the hole. Just in time too, because not 1 minute after, they set down Overhaul is blasting through, bringing himself to an unreachable height. Ruji follows through the hole, but can't go any further. Do not worry, for I am here. Everyone turns to the voice. All Might is sprinting at them. gaze set on Ruji. He jumps the last few feet, and the Drago hero catches him. Turning with the momentum, she launches him into the air, straight at Overhaul. Everyone moves back, closer to the police lines. Izuku limps after them, trying to see what's going on in the sky. A tangle of Overhaul, making smashes to the ground, smashing everything around them. It picks up a piece of rubble and retreats, but Izuku can't make out the attack that he tried on All Might. He takes his place next to his dad to try and watch, but their comms going off distracted him. Eraserhead, do you copy? Most of the others ignore the call when his dad's hero names come through. I copy. Why is the building fucking shaking? Kachan should be able to see this. The whole town probably does. The fact that he can't only means one thing. You guys aren't out yet? His dad comes to the same conclusion. Nobody fucking showed. His dad checks his phone and scowls. The beacon is still working, so somebody should have helped him out by now. Fuck. We'll be there soon. Don't move. Izuku raises his brow at his dad's language, but follows him without a word. Instead of going to the hole, like he expected, his dad takes another route. His eyes are glued to his phone, taking them closer to the little dot that tells them where Kachan and Kirishima are. He stops once they're above it. Alright, Izuku. I'll need you to get down there. He takes a second to understand what he means, but when he does, he doesn't hesitate. Izuku activates full calling, and smashing the floor, making a hole they could fit through. They jump down to the next level, but there's no sign of his friends, so they continue the process. It takes a few more floors, but eventually they see the figures leaning up against the wall. Izuku limps their way as quickly as he can. They're a mess. Kachan is all bloody, but he's not sure where the blood is coming from. One arm is limp and mangled on his lap, while the other is wrapped around Kirishima, who's leaned against Kachan, completely unconscious. His arms and head are wrapped up in pieces of his cape, already stained dark. The building shakes from whatever All Might is doing out there, so Izuku knows they have to hurry. Section of this underground hideout have probably already collapsed. They really don't need to be trapped right now. We don't have much time, Kachan. Do you trust me? I do, Izuku. He doesn't even hesitate. The lack of hesitation makes him pause for a second, but Izuku shakes it off. He'll think about it later, preferably when everyone's being treated at the hospital and there isn't a massive fight above ground. Izuku holds out a hand in their direction and carefully guides his whip in their direction. He doesn't want to risk hurting them more, so he separates Kachan and Kirishima, but keeps them close enough that Kachan won't get mad. He even wraps up his dad, knowing that they'll need to get out of here as quickly as possible. As quickly as he dares without setting off anyone's injuries, Izuku floats them back through the holes he's made, doing his best to push back the exhaustion he feels. Izuku's reaching his limit. He's used too many quirks at once too often today. Once he gets them out here, though, he hopefully won't have to anymore. Izuku floats them out of the last hole and takes in the scene. There's no longer a fight in the sky, but everyone's looking shocked at the ground below where it is. He floats them closer, trying to get to the ambulances, and that's when he sees him, All Might in his Saw form. He's standing victoriously over Overhaul, but at what cost? Izuku doesn't have the brain power to think about that now. The most he could do is set down his friend and his dad carefully before collapsing to the ground. Oh, right, shit. So this is the quote-unquote, All Might X All-for-One fight. At least the ending is similar. Okay. I can't remember what happened with that fight. Like, I don't think anyone, who got kidnapped? I think it was Izuku, yeah. It was Izuku and Bakugou, I believe. Yes. But they escaped. I think. I don't know, I've been reading this one for so long that I kind of forgot exactly small little details like that. And also, when you start reading fan fictions like this on a regular basis and you're reading the same content over and over and over, you kind of seem to forget what happens in like big moments like that because it changes drastically depending on each, not drastically, but the things that change, even if they're drastic, because the event is the same, it gets muddled in your mind. It gets muddled. It really gets muddled. But, no, yeah, I'm guessing the next one's gonna be hospital, so it's gonna be something of hospitals and something of ambulance rides and tearful reunions. There you go. Yeah, I said something of hospitals and something, you know? But, summary. Things can only go uphill from here, right? Question mark. Hey, this chapter has description of blood and injury. There's also assault / child abuse here, so be careful. What the fuck? Okay, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.